I didn't start coding until I was 17. Now, I'm 20, I'm in my junior year of computer science, and I'm working on multiple paid projects for real clients, even in the age of AI. If you're a computer science student or anyone looking to get into software engineering and you're feeling directionless, then this video is for you. I'm going to go over my journey for the past 3 years, including how I got started at the very beginning, how I managed to stay out of tutorial hell, and how I picked which projects were valuable. So back in high school, I applied and got into an electrical engineering program. I was really excited about what classes I'd be taking, and Intro to Programming based on Python was the one that really caught my eye. And so I jumped the gun a little bit and I started teaching myself Python on Codecademy. I'd be sitting in the back of my class on Codecademy instead of paying attention to the actual class. After I finished the Codecademy course, I started using VS Code, but I wasn't following tutorials anymore. I was just experimenting. Whatever little fun project I could come up with, I'd make. Some of them even integrated into the classes I was taking at the time. I made a simplified tax calculator / estimator when I was taking personal finance, and I attempted to make a derivative calculator when I was taking calculus. It was funny because I was actually the only person in my school, small school, taking calculus, so it was more of a direct study with our math teacher. And so I walked into my teacher's office one day, and he was like, "Anna, you haven't submitted homework in a week." And I was like, "Yeah, I know, but look at this derivative calculator I programmed." So that's kind of just what I did. I started with CLI projects, just print statements and inputs in Python, and then I graduated on to using tkinter and making GUI projects, just kind of following my natural curiosity, discovering the thrill of figuring these things out, as opposed to grinding to build those skills to land that job. So fast forward to college. During my freshman year, remember, still electrical engineering, but I enjoyed programming so much that I changed my major to computer engineering. And then at the end of my first year, I actually ended up switching to computer science entirely, which was a bit of a controversial decision, with engineering degrees being considered more prestigious, but I just decided that my real passion was in programming and software, not so much hardware, and also I kind of wanted to have more time for working on projects and not taking engineering mechanics. Over that summer, my first summer after freshman year, I also decided to teach myself Flutter. I followed one big intro tutorial video from Mitch Coco, which was great, by the way, highly recommend. And after that, I immediately stopped following tutorials and just started experimenting with little things again. I built small games, I built Snake, I built Checkers. It was all just little stepping stones, each project a little bit harder than the next. With both Python and Flutter, I followed an introductory tutorial to get me familiar with it, and from there I would make projects almost entirely on my own. I found the key here is to treat your projects like scaffolding for your learning. In my personal opinion, and this may be a little bit controversial, but you should not follow tutorials beyond a solid introduction to the language or framework. You are smart enough to figure it out on your own between you, Google, and documentation, and you will learn so much quicker. It's just a matter of picking the right projects to be your personal stepping stones. But back to learning Flutter. It opened a lot of doors for me. Flutter actually happened to be very widely used at my university, with almost all the senior projects using it in some shape or form. And one of my CS professors, once he found out I knew Flutter, recruited me to work on a data visualization app as part of an open source suite of tools that they were developing for ocean acidification research, together with the marine biology department. And after completing that project, it opened even more doors for me. That same professor got me to make another Flutter app as an internal tool for his company in exchange for a MacBook. And success with that project led directly to an internship with that company. In addition, another professor hired me to polish a couple of previous senior projects that had ready and willing clients, namely other departments of the university. The point is, learning a skill that was in demand where I was really opened a lot of doors for me and helped me graduate from small practice projects to more real, substantial projects. Once I started working with professors and real clients, I realized pretty quickly that coding is just one aspect of software engineering. Another very important facet is communication. It's understanding requirements, expectations, and generally just sharing ideas and brainstorming together. When you're working on real projects with other people, that usually means meetings and discussions, and there's always this tension between frantically taking notes and half listening or staying fully engaged and hoping you remember everything later. Because of that, I recently started experimenting with transcription and summary tools and seeing how they compare to stopping and taking notes by hand. Which brings me to the sponsor of today's video, Notta. Their Notta Memo is a small, dedicated AI voice recorder and transcriber that works both for in-person meetings and for calls. It's very slim and lightweight and easy to bring to meetings, and for calls, it uses a bone conduction microphone so that it can record both sides of the conversation across apps like Zoom or Teams. After that, everything syncs into the Notta app, where recordings are transcribed, summarized, and accessible from both web and mobile. You can even generate infographics or slide decks from the transcriptions straight in the app using Notta Brain. What I really like about this kind of setup is it lets me stay focused on the conversation and then deal with notes and recall afterwards. For students and professionals working on real projects where communication matters, this can be genuinely useful. I'll leave links in the description if you want to check it out or learn more about the Notta Memo. So, my main takeaway from my journey so far is to choose projects that are just challenging enough to make you learn something, but still make it yourself. Not so challenging that you feel completely lost and have to turn to tutorials or AI to figure it out for you. And just follow your natural curiosity. Be passionate about what you're learning. That's what really makes it feel effortless, is when you get obsessed. So if you're feeling directionless or don't know where to start, just start experimenting. Don't worry too much at first about what's useful or what can be done with AI. Your goal first should be to figure out what it is that you're interested in, because following that makes everything else go so much more smoothly. If you're new here, I'm a computer science student documenting my journey to becoming a software engineer here on this channel. So if that's interesting to you, feel free to subscribe and come along for the ride.